GPT 5.5 is here and everybody is going crazy. In this video, I want to give you the no fluff, no marketing crap, just a complete breakdown of what it is, how it works, and the new capabilities that you should be aware of, especially inside of the Codex application, which actually works significantly well. Let's dive in. First of all, what is this model? Well, it's just the new frontier model. We had 5.4, we now have 5.5. In my experience, this is the best model that currently exists. It is significantly better than Opus 4.7, especially in real world scenarios, at least for what I do. It is very good at coding, large data analysis, presentations, Excel spreadsheets, and does it faster than anything else that I've ever used. There's a lot of different ways that you can use this model. You can use it from ChatGPT, you can use it in an IDE, you can use it in an extension, you can use it directly inside of Codex, which is their desktop application, which I would recommend getting. And then of course you can use it from the API. It is more expensive than the previous model. I believe it's 2 times more expensive. However, it is still cheaper, especially if you're using something like a Pro subscription, which is $200 per month in terms of usage than something like the top Anthropic models. And you can get pretty good mileage with this compared to something like a Claude Code subscription. All right, so what can this thing do? Let's go through a few demos. First, coding. I'm going to ask it the following inside of Codex here, which is how I recommend you use it. I would like you to build a 2D checkers game and then test it by playing against yourself in the browser. I want it to look good, be sexy, have animations, have some sound effects, and be playable just in a standard browser. Okay, let's go ahead and press enter. I'm going to put it on full access just so it can do everything that it needs to do and run it. Now you're going to just notice that the coding capability of this is very good. It can write a massive amount of code. And what's interesting when you run this inside of Codex, which you're going to see in 1 second, is that it can actually automate the browser automatically. It can click through it and it can test its own work. So not only does it actually write the code, but it validates that the code is functioning, which is always an annoying thing to do with AI agents. And this is one of the kind of big capabilities that it has compared to running inside of a CLI or something like Claude Code. All right, so it just finished the first pass here of writing the code. You can see I'm not doing anything. I just opened this up in the browser, and you actually see that there's a cursor for it. And I hope in a second it's going to start actually moving this around and playing it. Of course, there's a mistake. You know, the board looks a little bit weird, but okay, there you go. You can see like I'm not doing this. It's controlling the browser. And that's one of the interesting capabilities that this has, is that it can actually take a cursor, move everything around, and do the full control. And you can see it, you know, running and playing itself, etc. in the browser. And I mean, it looks pretty cool to me, to be honest. The board is a bit weird, but anyways, that's the first feature, coding and browser use. So I just gave it a prompt here to fix the board. Looks like that's all good. Now let's say we were happy with this and we actually wanted to deploy this. Well, Codex can do that as well using a really cool tool called Here.now. So if you actually just go to this URL, you don't need an account, you don't have to do anything. You can just press this copy button and just paste it here and say deploy this app or something. You're going to see that what this will do is actually automatically deploy this to a domain that will be available for 24 hours that anyone can use to actually view this application. I do this all the time if I'm trying to share something quickly, so I don't need to go to Vercel, I don't need to use the manage hosting, and it's completely free. You don't need to pay for it, and you can even claim the domain so that it's live forever just by creating a free account on Here.now. Now I'm sharing this with you because it is insanely good and I've deployed literally of hundreds of sites using this agent skill, but also they are a partner of the channel, so massive shout out to Here.now for making this free and available. Again, literally go here, Here.now, press this button, paste it inside of here, and you can deploy any site instantly at a URL. You can see it's live right now, and I can now just play this app, and if I wanted to, I could share it with you guys. And if I want this to be available forever, because by default the domains only last 24 hours, then all I have to do is just sign in and I can just claim the domain. And again, I don't need to pay for anything. It's just so we have an account attached to the domain. And actually in my case, I'm already authenticated here, so we're good to go. But if you weren't authenticated, you could just create a free account and then you have the domain, you could share it with anyone, and you guys could literally go here and play this game now. The next feature I want to look at is computer use. Now, in order to enable this, you just have to go to plugins in Codex and just press on computer use and activate it. And the first time you use it, you'll have to set up some permissions on your machine, but it is insanely cool. Let me just go to a new chat here, and it can fully take over your entire computer and perform any action that you would normally be able to do. So I can tag it by doing @ and then I'm just going to tag computer like this, and I'm going to say, I would like you to open up Premiere Pro, look at my most recent project related to browser base, and then just make some cuts in the file and tell me the timestamps that I should use for the finished video based on the audio. I had no idea if this is going to work, but let's just hit enter, and it should actually now take over the computer, open up the application, and start running that. So we can see that it actually just opened up Premiere Pro here. Notice that I didn't do this. Like, I didn't open the application. It's just opened it itself. And if we go back to Codex, you can see this looking at Premiere Pro 2024, thinking through it. And the interesting thing is that I can use my computer while it's doing this, which a lot of other applications don't let you. So it has its own cursor and its own control, and it's going to ask me to do stuff here, look in documents, whatever, while I'm using my own machine. Now you can actually see the cursor here. It just went away, but you can see it's hovering over browser base, and notice that's Codex's cursor, not mine. Now just open up the Premiere Pro project. We're missing a few files, so I don't think this one is going to work. Let me just run another demo so you can see something fully finished. Scrap that. I want you to open Spotify and play Drake's most popular song. Okay, let's see if we can do that. So now we can see it's clicked in Spotify, it's opening it, it's doing it in the background here. We should see in a second, yeah, it's already on the Drake page here, and then it should just start playing a song. I'm probably gonna have to pause that quickly because it's gonna be copyright, but you get the idea. Okay, so the cursor just moved over here to One Dance, and I believe it's gonna press it now. Okay, and then there we go. Now, I need to pause that quickly, otherwise I'm going to get copyrighted, but you can see the cursor actually literally went here to the play button, pressed it, and then it started playing on my computer. Now, of course, that's just a simple example, but the point is you have computer use. It's a little bit slow, but it's insanely cool, and you could just let this run as long as you want and literally act like you on your own machine. Now, the next thing to have a look at here is spreadsheets and presentations. Codex is particularly good at this in dealing with large amounts of data. So let's do something like go research the top 100 tech and AI creators, find me their average views, subscriber counts, emails, and other important information about them, put them in a spreadsheet, and give me a bunch of graphs and charts to be able to visualize them quickly. Okay, and let's have it run and do that. Okay, so this took 21 minutes, but we got a pretty cool result here. I mean, we have all these charts, graphs, multiple pages, creator data, color-coded, looks like there's no mistakes. We have all the information here. Segment summary, we have chart data, we have the sources and methodology, and then if we go back here, not to this, let's close this, we can see that it gives us the final sheet here that we asked for. So now what I could do is just follow up and say, this is great, now just make a clean 5 to 7 page PowerPoint presentation that goes over the key information that I would want to present to something like a CEO. Okay, whatever, just asking it something random. I'm going to show you that yes, when we have data as well, we can also create various PowerPoints, and that's one of the things that this model is significantly better at than the previous version. And while it's doing this here, I'll just quickly mention that there's a lot of other things you can do in Codex, which I'm going to cover later. For example, there are a ton of different plugins you can install to connect to all of your favorite tools, just like the computer use one we had. You can set up various automations that run automatically for you so that you don't need to manually trigger them. And then, of course, if you go to the settings, right, we can do things like add MCP servers, connect to Git, right, change the settings for computer use, browser use, appearance, whatever. There's a bunch of advanced stuff that I'm going to go through in another video. This is just meant to be a quick one. And if I go over to usage here, you can see that I still have 96% left on my 5-hour limit, because even though I'm using this a lot, it really doesn't use that much usage, especially when you're on the $200 per month plan. So anyways, let's go back here. Let's wait for the presentation to be finished, then I'll show it to you. So that definitely took a long time, but we can see here that we get the finished PowerPoint presentation. It's not perfect, but I mean, overall, it's pretty good based on what I asked. It looks well formatted, and like, you wouldn't be able to tell at first glance that this was generated with AI. Now, of course, obviously there's a lot more stuff you can do here, but I just wanted to show you some of the key capabilities in Codex now. I think the computer use to me is the most notable, as well as the browser use when it comes to coding. And then, of course, being able to do things with spreadsheets, documents, PowerPoints is a nice bonus, but I think that was something that still existed before, but now it's just been enhanced and a lot better. Anyways, guys, that's all I have for you. I'm going to do a deep dive into Codex later, do a full course, probably going to be 1 or 2 hours long. But for now, I wanted to give you a quick taste. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.